You are going to be that Muslim girl this year, that Muslim girl that you've always seen and you just want to be. The best version of yourself that you always suppress, the best version of yourself that you don't give the chance to actually come out and be herself. You see all those videos that's saying how to be that girl, how to become that girl this year. Yeah, look, this is the Muslim version of that, and we're talking like real talk, things that's gonna actually help you in this life and in the hereafter. So first of all, we're gonna stop the gossiping. No more gossiping. And we've all been there, we've all had that phase, and you might still be in that phase. I'm personally out of that phase. I don't gossip, I don't have time for that. I feel like it's childish. It only just brings you trouble. It's honestly just gonna only bring you trouble. Like, gossiping is one of those things that, like, if you're doing with your friends, then you probably need new friends, because those friends that you're gossiping with, if that's the only conversation you guys can hold, whether they start it, you start it, this is something that, like, it's not gonna help you in this life or in the hereafter. It's gonna bring you discomfort in this life for sure. Gossiping has only ever brought me trouble, and in so many instances it's like it's just so uncalled for, and I found myself gossiping only with friends that, like, we basically had nothing else to talk about. It's really lame and it's so childish, but like I said, those days are gone, and hopefully for you they can be gone. That's how you're gonna become that Muslim girl 2025. No gossiping is how you're gonna become the best version of yourself. It's just a part of you. It's a part of yourself. And guys, I know how it is. Like, it's so hard, and honestly my husband has really helped me with this part, like with how to like say no to gossiping, how when somebody brings up a subject about somebody else, how to just stop them immediately. And it's like, as a shy person or a person who, like, you know, I'm such a people's person, I don't want to offend anybody, and sometimes you might feel like you might offend them if you be like, look, I don't want to talk about that. But guys, you have to like really think about yourself, think about your hereafter, think about this life, like think about the person that they're talking about. Like, would you want that to be done to you? Do unto others what you'd want to be done to yourself. Love for your brother what you love for yourself. So when it comes to that person who's starting to gossip, like they're like, oh, did you see her, da da da, she did this, she did that, like, just be like, honestly, I just don't want to talk about that. I'd rather not talk about people. And you really only have to do this one time. Once you do that one time, that friend will no longer try to bring those subjects up again, because she knows that you're not into that type of stuff. And if she does try it again, then you're gonna have to say, look, we already talked about this. I already said I don't like to gossip about people. Let's talk about something else, you know? Like, you can easily bring up other subjects, like talk about business, talk about Islam, talk about things that are actually beneficial to you in some sort of way, or just things that, you know, maybe talk about you guys' past, talk about, like, reminisce, or if you didn't really know them in the past, and just talk about the future together. Like, there's so many other things that you guys can talk about, and so many things that will actually benefit you once you, like, get out of this childish mind of worrying about what other people are doing. The next thing that's going to help you become the best version of yourself is seeking knowledge in all aspects of life. We're talking about seeking Islamic knowledge, because you're supposed to be that person who's constantly looking for answers, constantly questioning everything that happens in your life, everything that you do. You don't want to be that person that's like, what I don't know can't hurt me. Or if you know how, like, if you didn't know something in Islam and you do it, Allah's not gonna like give you sins for that because you didn't know. But once you find out and you still do that thing, now you're gonna be getting sins for it. You don't want to be that Muslim that's like, oh, I'd rather just not do research, I'd rather not look, because if I find out that I'm not supposed to be doing this, and you know you want to do it, then you're gonna end up getting sins. But like, I used to think like that, like, very short time, but once I got out of that, y'all, it's so much better to like seek knowledge. Like, you gain a wisdom that so many people out here do not have. People that are twice your age don't have the wisdom that you will have when you seek Islamic knowledge. And it doesn't even have to be Islamic knowledge. Like, you can seek business knowledge, just like you can seek worldly knowledge that's actually beneficial to you, and you can use that worldly knowledge and mix it with Islamic knowledge, and yo, you're such a powerful person, because you're ahead of all the people who only have this worldly knowledge. Like, one thing about Islam is it will always explain to you things that worldly knowledge can't explain to you. So y'all need to definitely be just like constantly seeking knowledge, and ways that you guys can do this like easily. One thing that I do is, like, say for example, if you're cleaning the house, have a video on the TV that's actually giving you beneficial knowledge. Have a podcast on. I love to listen to podcasts. When you get in the car, stop listening to the music, cut the music off. And I don't even think I had that as a point, like as to what I'm going to talk about, like no music. I don't think I made that a point, because I usually like look at my points to see like what I'm going to talk about. But yeah, we'll just tie music into what I'm talking about right now. Stop the music. Like in the car, when you get in the car, y'all, it's something that like our desires will be fulfilled by. Like we want to listen to music. It's like the sounds, but it opens the door for shaitan. It literally will. And this was one of the hardest struggles for me to stop listening to music, y'all. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I don't like, you know, I won't put like instruments in my videos. I'm not perfect and I'm still trying, but I will say that it's a different thing when you're listening to like rap music, you're listening to pop music about love and, you know, all of this type of stuff. Like instrumentals are a little bit different, but anyways, it's not an excuse still. But once you get inside of the car and you put on a podcast and you put something that's actually you're gonna learn from, you will see how your life starts changing. You will see how you start changing as a person, how your development just starts going like amazing. You will see you as a person become better. You will see your conversation change when you talk to people, because now you have so much more knowledge in your head. And like if you're like me, you're one of those people who just want to share the knowledge. Like that's just how I am. Like it's hard for me to like when I learn new stuff, y'all, as soon as my husband comes home, like not like as soon as he comes home, but I'm always ready to share. Like if I watch a lecture or something, I'm like, babe, did you know that, you know, whatever it is that I learned? Like it's just like sharing it, and like they might have already known whatever you're sharing, but if they didn't know, it's like you feel good like teaching them something. And your growth as a person, it's just so amazing. Like as soon as I started just like listening to podcasts and growing my knowledge, like randomly, you know, opening the Quran or randomly reading a book. I'm not a book reader much, but if it's something that's true, then I'll read it. But I don't like to read fiction or fake stuff because I just feel like it's useless. And the only way that you guys will be able to live your dream life, the life that you guys see on social media, even though a lot of it is fake, but you guys can actually live that life for real. You guys can live a good, halal, successful life. And isn't that all of our goals? Like we want to be successful not only in this life, but in the hereafter as well. So if you can do both, y'all, that is the ultimate goal, and that is the ultimate success. And in order to do this, you're gonna have to set life goals for yourself. Only when you set life goals for yourself will you have something to look up to and actually be like, okay, this is what I want to achieve. And once you set those goals, that's when you're actually going to be able to, you know, start working towards those goals. Setting those life goals is like the first step that you can take to becoming the better version of you, because you can say all you want, that you want to do this, you want to do that, I will do this tomorrow, let me start content creation, let me start my Islamic podcast, whatever it is that you want to start. Let me start my daycare, my school. Maybe you want to start a school. Yo, I love seeing hijabi women, like Muslim women, like succeed and do things that people just don't expect from Muslim women, like build big businesses, become a millionaire. Do it, bro, because you're so capable. You guys know Khadija bint Khuwaylid. I try to talk about her. Like I will probably mention her a lot on this channel because that is one of my biggest inspirations. And you guys, she was such a successful businesswoman. I talked about it in my intro video, and y'all, she was amazing. Like I might even just do like a full talk about her, but I have to like, you know, really perfect her story and really make sure that I'm not making any mistakes. That's the only reason why I don't do like a full biography on her, but I will, inshallah. Like that is a plan, a goal of mine. But because like she is the purpose of this channel, one of the purposes for me, like to teach Muslim women. She was a Muslim woman. Well, at the time that she started her successful business, she wasn't Muslim, but she already had like that Muslim character. She already had that haya. She already had that shyness, already was a good person, honest. She was already like that. So that's why she was the first woman to accept Islam. It was not hard for her to accept Islam because because Islam was already within her, like her morals, everything about her. It's like the Prophet ﷺ, he, like his character, everything was already Muslim about him inside. He just was not, like they just weren't Muslim at that time. Why? Because Islam had not came yet. It was the Jahiliyyah days, the days before Islam. But I want you guys to sit down, set those life goals, whether it's making a vision board, whether it's writing them down, put them on paper, print the pictures out of the goals that you want. Once you see things visually, it will really help you reach them, because like just saying it off the top of your head, you might even forget a goal. You guys, I have a vision board right over there that I'm looking at, and all my goals are just visual, and every time I see it, I love it. Like I sometimes, like I'm just holding my baby and we'll just look at it together, and I'm just like, inshallah, one day like we will be there, or we'll be at that place that I put on the board, or you know, we'll be able to go to Hajj, go all these, just do the things that you just want to do. But right now it's like not the time to do it yet. But eventually, once you get to that point, you'll be able to actually achieve your goals and imagine the feeling of achieving your goals. Just like think to yourself, one goal, just one. Start with that one goal. You don't have to name 50,000 goals that you guys have, because once you name a bunch of goals, it's going to make you feel like it's so much harder to reach. But if you just focus on that one goal, just one, think about it right now. Like, what is one thing that you would love to have? One thing that just feel like it would change your life. It would make you feel amazing inside. You would just be happy, at peace. What is that one thing? And this goal should be something that will make you become a better person. You want to feel like that Muslim girl who empowers other, who inspires people, who non-Muslims look at and they're like, wow, like, this woman is fully covered, she's modest, and she is a boss. That's who you want to be. You want to be that Muslim girl. You want to be that Muslim girl who's making her own income. You don't want to always depend on a man, only because of so many reasons. First of all, say your goal is to get married and you want to just like depend on him to provide financially, which men, you know, in Islam, of course, that's their job, that's their duty to provide for us financially. That is our right over them. But say hypothetically he passes away and you're still left. Now who's going to provide for you? Are you now just going to look for another husband to provide for you, or do you want to be able to take care of you and your kids and maybe get married later on? I'm not saying it's wrong to do, but if you're like me, you don't want to marry anybody else. You just only want to be with whoever you're with right now, even if they passed away. Like, I want to be able to just like have my own income, provide for myself, take over, and just not feel like I'm disabled now, and not feel like, oh, man, now I'm a widow and I'm stuck, I'm like broke. And some people might have already gotten put in that situation, but for those who has not yet reached a situation like that, I hope you never do. I hope you never get in that situation where you're stuck and you just don't have the money financially yourself and you're just always relying on men to provide for you. I hope not, because you want to be that woman who you don't want to end up staying in an abusive relationship, or a relationship that's just not healthy, and you're just staying there only because you know you have no money of your own. And we live in a time where it's so easy to make money online, and that's why this channel is here, guys. I hope that if you're one of those women who want to learn how to make money online as a hijabi, how to learn how to make money online as like a mom, things that are actually doable, easy, and things that will actually make you some good cash. While I have you guys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and let's continue. And you guys need to make good friends, good Muslim friends. And I don't even, like, you might say like, oh, I have non-Muslim friends and they're good and I like to hang out with them. But guys, you will be with those whom you love. You will attract those type of people that are like you. So however you are as a person, those are the type of friends you will attract, and those are the type of friends you will be attracted to. And you just really want Muslim friends. It's so much better when you're with a Muslim friend. You can talk about your religion freely, you can talk about Allah freely. And whenever there's like you and a non-Muslim friend, like it's honestly hard. Like I've been there. I've been in situations where I've had non-Muslim friends and I really like them, and even still now, like I have them on Instagram and things like that. But it's just like you always have that feeling inside, like, you know, you can't talk about Allah, or because they worship Jesus. You can't really talk freely about what you want to talk about, and your opinions, you have to keep them to yourself. You know, as Muslims, we have things like strict things that Islam says like we don't play with, and you want to always be confident with your religion. You don't want to feel like you just have to like kind of be quiet about it with that friend, or when you guys are going out, because you don't want to offend them, or you know, you don't want to feel like you're trying to convert them. And I get that. Like literally, I don't ever want any non-Muslim friend of mine to feel like I'm trying to convert them. But if you like make good Muslim friends, you guys will be able to go out places, go to the masjid together, read Quran together, do Islamic activities together. Bro, Ramadan, you guys can invite each other over for iftar. On your Eid, you guys can like hang out. Like how amazing is that? When you have a baby, she has a baby, your babies can hang out, they can be good Muslim friends like when they grow up. Like that is really the goal. You want to make friends who's going to remind you of Islam, make friends who's going to not gossip, like I said. And that's also a hard thing when you have non-Muslim friends. A lot of them really gossip. Even Muslim girls gossip. But I'm saying it's easier to explain to a Muslim why you don't want to be gossiping. You can talk about like the Day of Judgment, the backbiters, how they will be the bankrupt people, how when your scales, you have all these good deeds, and then all the people that you talked about come to take your good deeds because you've talked about them. And on the Day of Judgment, bro, we are going to look for every single good deed that we can take, because we're all going to need it. And then once all those people who you've ever talked about came for your good deeds, now you are bankrupt. You have zero good deeds left, and now you don't know what's going to happen to you. You don't want to be that person, and you can explain that to a Muslim. It's very hard to explain that to a non-Muslim, But like, if you feel like you're with a non-Muslim friend who has the potential to become Muslim, stay their friend. Try to guide them. Inshallah, they will become Muslim. But if you have a non-Muslim friend who's just like, you feel like is too far gone, you never know. Allahu A'lam, like they could become Muslim one day. But if you feel like they might pull you more to their side than you can pull them to your side, then stay away from that friend, because there will be those friends in the hereafter. They will be enemies on the day of judgment. They will try to blame each other. They will be the worst enemies. The best of friends here will be the worst enemies on the day of judgment. And there's so many reasons for that. You guys need to start making time for everything. You don't want to be that person who's always saying, oh, I'm too busy. I'm too busy for this, too busy for that. I'm guilty of that personally. Like, it's really hard, especially when you do so much. Like, I do a lot of things, guys. Like, YouTube is not all that I do. I have so many other things and I talk about it all the time. So if you don't know, just go watch my other videos and you guys will know like all the stuff that I do. But it's like really hard. Sometimes it's easier to say I'm too busy than to actually make time and adjust your calendar and be like, okay, let's just adjust my calendar and now I can make time for Quran. Now I can make time to pray my 5 daily prayers because it's obligatory upon me. And if I don't pray them, that I know in the grave there's gonna be a snake, and I know that that's the first thing I'm asked about. Like on the day of judgment is your salah. You're asked about your prayer. You don't want to be lacking in those obligatory areas, guys. It's not going to end well for you. But don't let that discourage you. Just take that as something. This is what I did. Like when I hear things like that, I hear scary things like that, like, wow, that's the first thing I'm going to be asked about the punishments for. I love to look at that because it reminds me that I'm saving myself. Like your body is thanking you. Your body has a right over you. And if you're neglecting your body in that way, Allah even says in the Quran, it's those people that have wronged themselves. It's like you are wronging your own self by not doing the obligatory, because it's just like you have to do it, guys. It's so hard, and I know it is. But once you actually start these things, it becomes so much easier and easier. It just becomes a habit, a part of your life. And that's what you want Islam to be, a part of your life. This is how you're going to become the better version of yourself. And you know, just this is something I'm trying to start myself, like just picking up the Quran here and there. But imagine like if I can like actually go through my calendar and make time for it specifically, like maybe say 10 minutes every day. You can just start there. 10 minutes every day you read the Quran. Or something I'm trying to start is just like reading a page with Arabic and English. It's not easy because look, like it's harder for me to read in Arabic. But if you have goals that you want to reach and you're lacking in your Islamic area, then those goals that you're trying to reach are going to be harder to reach because you don't have the creator on your side. Allah will be on your side if you do the obligatory things that he told you to do. He doesn't want to see you struggle. He doesn't want to see you in poverty. He loves those strong Muslims. He loves those Muslims who wants to seek his blessings in this life. He wants those. These are strong Muslims, the giver. You want to be the giver. You don't want to be the beggar, the one who's always asking for money, who needs help from the family. People will hate to see your text because they're like, I already know she's trying to ask for money. Or people who you call them and they're like, they hate to see your call pop up because they know you're going to ask them for something. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the giver, the person who's able to help people. Start making time for everything. Please get a monthly calendar board, guys. This has really helped me be able to make time for all the duties that I have, the things that I need to do. On Sunday, it's cleaning day for me. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, random days, like when my husband's off, like I'll put something that makes sense for him to be off so that he can help watch the baby, and I can do whether it's recording videos or just whatever else I have to do. And then you can put on your calendar, like you can put like Quran a little bit on your calendar every single day. You can 5 daily prayers is something that like it's just kind of random, like it'll come at different times. The times are always changing, so you can always fit time in for prayers, guys. Like each prayer on average 5 minutes each. If you can't give 25 minutes per day for Allah, why would your goals happen? Why would your goals come true? Because you're not even giving him 25 minutes of your day. That is actually really, really sad. And if you were like me, I felt so bad about not praying because I saw other people who would pray and I would just feel bad. I remember like going out one time with friends, and there was this one friend, only one out of all of us, and she would like stop and she'd be like, oh, I have to pray. And like we're all looking, and it's just like, how can you not feel bad inside and be like, what makes me think that she will go out of her way and pray like Allah asked her to, and I think I'll be okay if I don't pray? And you guys never know when your time is up. Everybody's time is limited. We all have a clock ticking that we don't see, that we don't know when it's going to end. But you don't want to be that person who's caught lacking in, especially in your prayer, y'all. You don't want to be caught lacking there. And one thing about this, if you start praying, then every single thing will be easy for you. Seriously. When you start praying, life becomes easier. It's actually for you. Prayer is not for Allah. It is for you. It's for you to be guided in the right way, for you to always just have that connection with Allah, so you never break connection. Because once you break connection with Allah, like, a lot of things in your life will just start going wrong. And even if you feel like everything is going good, you're starting to get money, because there's a lot of non-Muslims who's very successful, right? Successful. They're very rich, but they're not actually successful. They are actually the biggest losers in the hereafter. If you're one of those girls who like to cuss, girl, stop cussing. It is not cute. And I think that it's like one of those things that's like a low quality vocabulary to have. Like, cuss words, they're filler words, they're nasty filler words that are very unneeded. Do you know how easy it is to fill a sentence without cussing? There's always a better word to put there. And like, or sometimes people just cuss. It's like an added word in a sentence that's just not needed. It's just like, all that cussing does is add violence, vulgarness, and unattractiveness. You're losing femininity. When you're a woman who cusses, it's just like, men shouldn't cuss either, but like, as a woman who cusses, like, it's a very manly trait to cuss, because men are more, you know, they're more aggressive naturally by nature. Women should be softer, more gentle. When you tap into your femininity, you will feel so good, because that's who you're meant to be. You're not meant to be Adam, you're meant to be Eve. So when you're a woman who's like really coming across as like aggressive, and even like, say with your husband, you're one of those women who like, you want to feel like the man of the house, you want to feel in control. And sometimes, like, I have to always remind myself, like, my husband doesn't do things as I would do, but he's a man, he's not going to do things the same way I do. So I don't have to always be on him like, this is not how you do it, you're supposed to do it this way. I heard a lecture, and Bilal Asad, y'all, his lectures, like, whenever they come out, I'm always listening to his lectures. I love them, because like, they always put you back to reality. They always put you in your place. And when you're a wife who's always on your husband, like, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, like, that's not how you're supposed to be, that's so unfeminine, and husbands don't find that attractive. So like, for example, if you have a baby and you know that as the mom, like, I know as the mom, I change my baby amazingly, I wipe her really good, I put her diaper on correctly. But men, especially like when their first times, guys, we as moms, we do it so much more often, so we're gonna do it better. You know, practice makes perfect. But dads, they do it a lot less, so it's not gonna be as perfect when they do it. But just let them learn on their own. You don't have to always be there like, that's not how you do it, oh, I should have done it. Like, when you start saying things like that, guys, you're discouraging him, you're making him just not want to do it anymore. It's just like with dishes. If he's washing the dishes, he might not wash them like you do, and that's because he probably does it less than you do. But you don't want to always, like, you want to see his effort, you want to be like, oh, he's trying. You want to be feminine. Just thank him for his effort, instead of like being like, what is this, like, what did you just do? Tap into that femininity. Like, you don't want to be those aggressive women. I see aggressive women and I try to stay away from them. Like, if I'm out in public and I see that woman who's so loud, like, that's not the type of woman. Like, I remember when I used to work at Five Below, there was this one like woman, she was so unfeminine, she was so like masculine acting, and it was her mouth who gave me that impression. It was her mouth. She looked very feminine, she looked like a woman, but when she started talking, it's like a man was in front of me, and it was just, I don't see how a man would find that attractive, like, personally. Because as a human being, like, somebody who's cussing, they're aggressive, their character is just all da 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 da, this is not what I asked you to do. Like, yo, it was something so silly. Like, she put so much on the counter, and she didn't want everything that she put on the counter ring up, but she put it all together. It was confusing. Me as a cashier, y'all, I'm just trying to like scan your stuff and get you out. Basically, I have a line, and she's like, oh, you weren't supposed to scan this, da 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 da. I'm like, ma'am, it's okay, I can just void it off the transaction, easy peasy, one click of a button, calm down, like, it's not that serious. And you know, she got really offended, da da da, and I'm just like, it's just so uncalled for. Like, and the thing is, when you talk to people like that with sense, when you talk to people like that with wisdom, they hate it, because they're like, they have nobody to argue with. You're not trying to argue with them. They literally hate it. It's like, kill them with kindness, and it will kill them, guys, literally. So become emotionally intelligent. Don't let anything anger you. Become that version of yourself who's just softer, who's better with listening to people, who's better with understanding, who, when a situation comes to yourself, you don't allow yourself to get imprudent or overly angry, to say things you might regret. You just sit back, you think, before you speak. You think, you let your thought process, guys, you know, your thought process is delayed by like 10 seconds. So when you just like, when something happens, just wait a little bit before you react. Because if you react first, and then after you do that crazy reaction, you start cussing, you start going off, and just like you start acting crazy. And then once your thought process comes in, it's gonna be like, I don't think I should have reacted like that. Like, I think I should have just waited a little bit and just thought about this. And yeah, you should have just thought about it and waited. But these are things you have to learn. You probably didn't know that your thought process, like, it takes a little minute for it to come in, y'all. But your reaction, you're able to react before you can think. So think before you react, and you will see a huge difference in like your life quality. You'll see a huge difference in how people treat you, how people want to be around you. And let's talk about beautifying your character. When you have beautiful character, like, you just see how people will just be attracted to you, how people will just love to be around you. We all can think of that one person whose character is just so beautiful. They're just humble, they're nice, they're just one of those people who like you can be yourself with. You don't feel like you have to have a guard up. You know, there's those people who you feel like you talk to and you always have a guard up, like you don't ever show your real self. You feel like you can't say everything you would like to say in front of this person, because they might go crazy. You might feel like you just can't be yourself in front of this person, and you could be that person that people feel like that in front of. So you really need to evaluate yourself before you start talking about other people. Oh, she has a problem, he has a problem, everybody has a problem. No, ma'am, you have the problem, sister. You have to first like look at yourself, evaluate yourself. And I like to do that a lot of times, like whether it's with your marriage, as a mom, as a daughter, as a sister or a brother. Evaluate yourself with your coworkers. Think, how am I to them? Am I somebody that they would like to be around? Do I act a certain way in front of this person and make them not want to be around me? Like, you have to really evaluate yourself and think about that. Judge yourself, because you're the only one who should be judging yourself other than Allah. Nobody else should judge you, but you have to judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, then other people probably will judge you. And you guys, listen to this hadith. I have it on my phone. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, nothing is heavier on the believer's scale on the day of judgment than good character. For indeed, Allah, the Most High, is angered by the shameless, obscene person. He's angered by that shameless, obscene person, that person who they act like just disgusting. I hate when people act like that. I cannot constantly be around somebody, whether it's a friend, a family member, a spouse, whatever. If you're acting like that, I don't want to be around you. I will literally eliminate myself from any situation that's involving you as much as I possibly can. But just try this, guys. And it might be hard for some people. It's harder for some than others. Like, it's not hard for me personally to have a good character because like my personality. But some people, like, Allah tests us all with different things. You might be that person who's being tested with your character, with your imprudence, with the way you get when you get angry. This could be your test. So if you're one of those people, then I challenge you to, next time you get in a situation, like, say somebody just says something that offends you, or somebody says something that's kind of rude to you. How will you react to that? I have instances like that where that has happened, like in the grocery store. I used to react so like, oh my gosh, like back in high school, it's like when you're more childish, you don't really like think before you react, bro. I used to react crazy. Like, I used to get loud. Like, I know I would scare the other person the way I acted, but it's like, it was not hard to transition. Once you like think about it, you get more mature, you get more wisdom, you think more, and you do, just seeking knowledge, learning more things. This will make you become a better person character-wise. And just think that, like, you don't want to anger Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you anger him, how will your goals happen? How will you be that Muslim girl who's like successful, who's beautiful, who's modest? How will you be that girl if you're angering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Like, when you act out of character, you don't want to act out of character. You don't want to allow anybody to make you act out of character. And you guys, please set new role models. Whatever, think about some women that you would love to be like. Just think about some women. Think about one, think about two, think about three, however many you guys can think of. If it's just one, what is that one? What are the three women that you just named right now? Think about it. I'll give you guys a little bit of time. I'm gonna think about three of mine. I already know my three women. But what are you guys' three? If one of your three role model women were Maryam, Khadija bin Khuwaylid, Aisha radiallahu anhu, who else is there? Or Asiya, the four women, the mother of the believers, or like Fatima, you know, there's other Muslim women, but if they were one of those women, guys, then you are on the right track. And if they were somebody like Layla Hormozi, I would love to be like her, or Kim Kardashian. I would love to be like these successful non-Muslim, non-praying women who look successful, but they're only successful in this world. That's why when I see celebrities, they don't even faze me. When I see how successful they are, the new cars that they just bought, 12 cars in their garage, like that stuff does not faze me. I see it and I'm just like, all I think in my head is, you don't even do the bare minimum that Allah sent you here to do. He did not send us here to do that kind of stuff. He sent us here to worship him. That is our sole purpose in this life. But you can also enjoy life. We know that. So that's why I say, be that modest, be that Muslim girl who's modest, successful, has money. You know, it's okay to be that person. That's what I'm saying. As long as you're doing your obligatory things, you're giving your zakat, you're giving sadaqah, you know, you're doing the things that Allah told you to do. You're fasting during Ramadan. You go to Hajj if you have the money. If you're doing what you should be doing, then look at you. You're one of those people who, inshallah, will be having a good life in this life and in the hereafter. And that is the ultimate goal. That's how we want to be. You don't want to be like these non-Muslim women, role models. And guys, there's another hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best of women among the people of paradise are Khadija bint Khuwaylid, Fatima bint Muhammad, Maryam bint Imran, and Asiya bint Muzahim, the wife of Fir'aun. So one of those women should be the women that you have as role models, who you look up to. For me, like the number one is definitely Khadija bint Khuwaylid, because she was such a successful businesswoman. She had the best character. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like personally himself, sent his salams to her. Imagine how that felt. Imagine how that felt, like to have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's salam sent to her. But imagine how that feels. Like that to me is like amazing. That's who I want to be like. I want to be that person. I want to be like her. You know, she was amazing. She had so much money, and I said it in my other video, my intro video to this channel. I said that her caravans were worth so much more than everybody else's caravans in the city. Like, y'all, she was that successful. Alhamdulillah, she was that successful. And you know, it's because of her character, it's because how she was. And she was one of those people who she would just donate so much of her money. Once she became Muslim, guys, like all of her money, she would just give it in charity. Like, how amazing is that? Khadija bint Khuwaylid was not looking for a successful husband. She was just looking for like a good husband, like the Prophet ﷺ. He was honest. He was not wealthy at that time. That he was working for her, and she married him. Isn't that who we want to be like? We don't want to be those Muslim women who, like, our goals in life are to marry a rich man who we don't even, maybe not even like that, but he has money. Like, think about it. This is crazy. You don't want to be like that, guys. You want to live a life that's going to satisfy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, you guys, make sure you subscribe, like I said before, because you guys don't want to miss like the marriage series, especially if you're one of those women who's not married yet. You don't want to miss, like, I'm going to talk about like green flags in Muslim men, like things to look for, things that will help you find a good Muslim man, and then red flags. I'm going to definitely touch on, I'm going to have like a marriage series. We're going to do so much on this channel. I'm so excited, and y'all, like, I just love these little talks. And thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Salam.